Hello everybody. Today we are in the workshop. There is a good reason I called this channel the Old Barn Workshop. First of all, it's a barn, but mainly because I want to show you some of the things I do in here. You might not have interest in all of them, but we do quite a lot of diverse stuff, you know? So the first thing we're going to do today, I'm sat on my bench. Okay, this was a rescue job. The timber was all shot through. You know, the cast iron was all rusty, so we shot blasted the cast iron. We've replaced the timber work. This is all new oak. When I say new, it's a couple of years old. Now, one of the problems I've had with this bench is that in the past I've ship varnished it, and the trouble is with ship varnish is by the end of summer all the varnish is peeling, it's bloody horrible, and that's not what I want. You know, this should last well past my lifetime if it's treated correctly. So I've done a little bit of research on the old interwebs, and what I've found is probably the best thing you can do is strip all the varnish off, which I've pretty much done here, and then use a product called tung oil, T-U-N-G oil. It soaks into the wood. It's meant to penetrate quite deeply and give you a really good lasting effect. You can't leave your furniture out through winter apparently when it's been treated with this. Luckily, having this space, I can bring the old bench back in over winter, you know, and just redo the finish on it. But I'm really interested to see A, how well this applies, and B, is it going to last? Will it keep my bench looking as beautiful as it should be? So I'm going to go get some cloths and some paintbrushes, set up the camera maybe to be a little bit better place so you get a better, closer shot, and then we'll give it a go and just see what it looks like. Okay? Well, I'm going to finish my coffee first, but you don't have to see that. Catch you in a minute. So, strange as it might seem, I actually read the instructions on the can. Doesn't mean to say I followed them, but I read them. And the idea is you apply this with a cloth. And what you can do, they say, is use a little bit of white spirits, and that allows the oil to be absorbed. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm fully aware that this might take several coats. Not really too bothered looking for a perfect finish. The other thing is sometimes I think people overdo these things. I want this bench to grow old gracefully. I don't want it to look forever new. So when I was sanding it down, I was very aware that you know, overdoing it, taking it too far back would just really ruin everything. So some of you might be going, oh God, look, I see black bits everywhere. Yep, you sure can. And that's part of the history of this, you know. It's looking quite good. Now, the other thing to be quite aware of is we're in the middle of winter. It's quite cold in this workshop. We're lucky, we're facing the right direction, so in summer, that big metal door that you can hear clanking in the background, that takes on the sun and all the heat, and it acts as a great radiator. And then, of course, this place is pretty much unbearable in the height of summer. I can tell you it gets damn hot in here. But right now it's cold, and the point I'm making here is that because it's cold and because it's damp, the wood will have absorbed some water, which is fine. You know, it's what wood does. So it might take a little while for this to really soak in and penetrate, but get the first coat on now, and then when the weather's a little bit better, you know, as we go through the year, I can take this home, and there's nothing stopping me in the height of summer putting a second coat on. In fact, it'd be quite beneficial, because obviously if you don't put a second coat on, what's going to happen is the wood will dry out. And I want to keep this, as I said. You would not believe how expensive it is to replace the wood on one of these benches. It's like a bank loan. So if you do this, you know, you quite often see the cast iron work up for really cheap. Yeah, that's because of the cost to buy the timber. The other thing I have found a lot is you see a lot of these benches that people are getting rid of, and they look pretty shocking. But if you actually poke the wood, you'll find that quite a lot of them, because they were made of hardwood, and because probably somebody at some time looked after them, the wood itself is actually quite good. So if you find one like that, get the sander on it, bring it back to some level of glory, you know, get all the moss and lichen off it, then you should have yourself a really good bench. And let's be honest, the modern equivalent to this, the ones I see, are usually cast aluminium, which again, they're nice, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that cast aluminium probably isn't going to last quite as long. So just bear with me, I'm going to slew the camera around and try and tilt it, mainly because I'm sure you don't want to just stare at an empty bench, and I need to get this job done. The reason it's important to get this done, A, it's going to need time to soak, but B, there is something on the bench that I want to show you guys. But more about that when I've finished doing this. There's something quite nice about doing a job like this. You see it start to, you know, sort of take shape, if you like, and pretty soon you can see the benefits of it. One thing I haven't done at the moment is heavily sanded the back. That's because right now I don't intend to coat the back of the bench. The reason being is, as I say, this wood's probably absorbed quite a lot of moisture, and Teng oil, I believe, is actually an oil, and oil floats on water. So if you try and coat all of it, what will happen is the oil will sit on the wood and it will never penetrate. When I come back to this, when it's a little bit warmer, the atmosphere will be drawing the moisture out. As it does that, and I recoat, the oil will be drawn into the wood. I hope. That's my theory. Some of you might be laughing now. Please, if you really want to, you can comment, tell me of my folly if I'm talking utter rubbish. Try to be gentle though, please. Right, just a little bit more. And the other nice thing with Tern oil is it actually, once it's soaked in, we should still have this lovely golden colour, which is why I love oak so much. But what you will also find is the gloss will go, and this will leave a lovely matte effect. Right, so we're going to leave that, let it all soak in, and go and have a look and see and go and have a look and see what we've got on the bench.